Who do you call when you have a problem? If your car's not running right, you panic. If you're not feeling quite right physically, you call a doctor, right? Or you go see a doctor. So what do you do if your crops aren't quite performing like you want them to do? You need to get an agronomist, okay? An agronomist is going to help you. An agronomist has to have the right tools in his toolbox in order to be able to help you correctly. And one of the biggest things with that is the soil test. This is what a soil test should look like. It should have all of this information on there. And that gives us the ability to be able to look at those things. We look at different things. We look at different ratios. We look at different nutrients because it's not all just about N, P, and K. If it was all just for nitrogen, all we'd have to do is put more nitrogen on and we'd all be raising 4 bushel of corn, right? So it's not just about nitrogen. There are other things that go into factor there. We look at our P1 as well as our P2 ratios. We look at our potassium to magnesium ratios. Those also affect different things. We also look at our base saturations. We look at pH is so important. If your pH is out of whack, that needs to be your first dollar spent, which affects so many things you do. Different crops have different needs. Corn and soybeans really like a pH of 6.5. Alfalfa really likes up to 7 to 7.2. So keep those things in mind depending on what your crops are, depending on what your fields are, might depend on where you really should be planting certain crops. But also, let's maintain those pHs or fix those pHs. pH also affects your nutrient availability. So as your pH starts to get lower and lower and lower, that changes the availability of some of the nutrients, macro, micro, all those things. And as your pH gets higher, it also goes that way. So a pH of 7 is the most ideal pH for your nutrient availability for most cases. The best way to do that is to do a soil test and let the soil test tell you exactly what you need to put on based on your soil levels, based on your crop and your yield goal. If you want more questions answered with that, reach out to us here at A Better Way to Farm, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Hope you have a better day.